What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. Today I got the Pixel 5a and the Pixel 4a, and I want to compare them. Which device is for you? That's actually a very easy question, but let's get right into our comparison of the 4a and the 5a. So first is going to be design. And when we look at them, they are definitely from the same family. They're from, obviously, first a Google Pixel device, but they're also from the A lineup. And Google's been using this kind of design, pretty much starting with the Pixel 4. Obviously, this is built from, it's got some, aluminum and metal and whatnot, glass, but that's a different story. We're not talking about Pixel 4 or any of that. We're talking about the A series. So right here, looking at them, unibody design. First of all, Pixel 4a is using unibody plastic for the Pixel 4a, and that's probably why it's only $349. And with the Pixel 5a, we're using a metal unibody design coated in plastic. So you're still getting that plastic feel. It gives a much heftier feel to it, but it's a metal unibody design. No, it does not have wireless charging. I don't really mind too much, but there are some that do, but just keep that in mind. The Pixel 4a or the Pixel 4a 5G didn't come with wireless charging either, so remember that as well. But this feels light too. Like, it feels super light because it has that plastic, unibody plastic feel to it. But otherwise, they both really do feel comfortable in the hand. This is more compact, yes, with a 5.8-inch display compared to 6.34. But I think they're both compact. They both feel well in the hand. They fit super well in the hand. I like it. I like it a lot. Larger display, does not have 90 hertz. Neither does this, but I guess that's okay at this. It doesn't really matter for me too much. They're fluid enough anyway with their software, with their stock Android software. So that's fine with me. You're not getting a high refresh rate for either of these. That was only for the Pixel, the 4, the 4 XL, and the Pixel 5, and obviously the upcoming Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Now, another thing that you'll notice is with the power buttons, yes, we're getting these colored power buttons, which I love how Google does try to differentiate the power button and the volume buttons. But if we look closely, we're going to notice with the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. So on the right, we have the Pixel 4a. It's got this like teal colored power button, and the Pixel 4a has a dark green, like an arbor green, I guess you can call it, power button, and it's got a rigid feel to it. So you can definitely tell in your pocket that this is a power button, whereas the 4 and the 4a, you can only tell it's a power button by where it's placed on the phone. And another thing that I did notice is that I feel as if the Pixel 5a is less clicky than the Pixel 4. Just give it a listen. Right? I don't know. It just feels less clicky, and I like the clicks on how clicky the Pixel 4a is, but that's just nitpicking at this point. Another thing that you're going to notice with the Pixel 4a compared to the Pixel 5a is the smaller hole punch on the Pixel 5a compared to the Pixel 4a. You're getting a smaller hole punch, which is definitely appreciated compared to the Pixel 4a. And also, guys, we're still getting USB-C, obviously stereo speakers on both, and we're getting the headphone jack, which is kind of weird because I think headphone jack is a feature that kind of should be, on flagship devices, but nonetheless, we're getting it with both the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5. Now, I do want to add also in the box, we're getting the chargers for both of them, but Google has confirmed that Pixel 6 and moving forward, they will not be including the adapter in the box. So yeah, and also, before we move on into our next segment, just taking a look here, this is the Pixel 4a box, and this is Pixel 5a. Just look at that, Pixel 4a, Pixel 5a. It's a larger phone. It packs everything in a smaller, more compact body. So just keep that in mind as well. There's also an upgrade with the Pixel 5a that we didn't have with the Pixel 4a or the Pixel 4a 5G, and this guy right here is IP67 rated. Now the IP68, so it has a dust and water resistance. This doesn't have it at all. So you can definitely, get a splash here or there, but it's good that it has that IP67 rating over, 4a or the 4a 5G that doesn't have that at all. So that is a plus as well. And also looking at the colors here, this is, I think it was called Just Black, and this is called Mostly Black. But guys, in real life, like, this is not black at all. Like, even looking at an angle, it's like a super dark green, and I am really, really liking this green over this black on the Pixel 4a. But then again, that's just me. Now, looking at the camera module, we are getting a dual camera lens on the Pixel 5a, which is also the same setup as the Pixel 4a 5G. And we're getting a single camera lens that we all know and love from the Pixel 4a. Now, the main camera lenses are pretty much more so the same. They perform the same super well, but we're getting an addition of a 16 megapixel ultra wide, which is a huge plus. I'm glad that Google has put an ultra wide as a secondary camera lens, because remember from Pixel 4, their second lens was telephoto, and not many were super happy about that. So that's a plus as well. Single camera on the Pixel 4a and dual camera setup on the Pixel 5a. Also, I do want to point out that the power button, or not the power button, but the fingerprint sensor, they're still, both of them are on the back, but they're like, they feel so, I don't know, like the indent is, for me, it's not, like, I can tell it's there, but it kind of feels a little too flush with the back. And I kind of wish there was a little bit more of an indent there. But then again, like, it's not that bad. It's just nitpicking at this point. But I like how the fingerprints are still on the back. It just makes it so much easier. Sometimes I've been having really weird troubles with in-display fingerprint sensors lately. Just hasn't been scanning mine, so I'm all for physical all the way. But then again, Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will be having that in-display fingerprint sensor, which I hope is going to be a huge plus. Now, when we look at design, either one, you're going to be getting the same design. It's just one is compact than the other. One is smaller than the other, but you're getting the same feel and look to it. Nothing really here changes. You're getting that same feel and look. So if you prefer a smaller compact 5.8-inch display size over a 6.34-inch, then guys, Pixel 4a is probably going to be your choice. Obviously, it's going to come with a smaller battery over the Pixel 5a. But if that's what you prefer, then Pixel 4a is going to be your choice. If you prefer something larger with a much larger battery, then Pixel 5a is going to be your choice. But let's head on into this next segment. The next segment is, I want to talk about a little bit about the performance on the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. So right here, the Pixel 4a has 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and a Snapdragon 730G. So it's not the highest end processor by all means, and it's not even a Snapdragon 765. So keep that in mind. It's not a Snapdragon 765 either, but it still gets the job done. It's only one configuration, one size. I think it has 2 colors now. It has a nice light blue color. But that's it, one size. You're not getting a model with 8 gigs or anything like that. It's just one size, one configuration, that's it. And in my use, I've had this since 2020. In my use, it's been great. Call of Duty, browsing the web, watching YouTube videos, all of that has been amazing. It really has been amazing. No hiccups here or there. And I'm not really pushing it too much, because I know it's, once I start pushing it even further, if I go as much as photo editing and just multitasking and trying to do a lot of apps open at once, then I know it's going to hit it pretty hard. That's why I kind of played a little bit lightly with the Pixel 4a, and I haven't come across any issues. Now, I do have Android 12 Beta 4, and it's pretty stable right now. Beta 3 was a mess, but Beta 4 is very stable, so that is a huge plus. 60 hertz display, I don't mind it at all for this. I mean, other devices at this price tag, they're now including 90 hertz and 120 hertz. But remember, this phone did come out last year. I really don't mind. It's not a huge deal breaker. Like, nothing's gonna have, it's not super bad that this doesn't have a 60 hertz display. Would I have liked a Higher refresh rate, yes, but again, at that point, it's kind of nitpicking. I don't mind too much. But like I said, for anyone who's like a light user, this is going to perform very smoothly, buttery smooth. And well, once you start pushing it to its limits and multitasking, then you're going to start to see it age, because its processor is not even that new either. So do keep that in mind. Now, when we move on to the Pixel 5a, here's where, things get a little bit different inside. Obviously, we can kind of call this the Pixel 4a 5G version 2021. It has some upgrades, like I talked about earlier with the IP67 rating, a slightly larger display, and a larger battery. But the internals are almost identical to the Pixel 4a 5G. We're getting Snapdragon 765 processor, which is definitely more powerful than the Pixel 4a. And we're getting 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, one configuration, one model, one color, which is not mostly black, it's mostly green and just a little bit of black. This is it. This is what we're getting. And in my use of having this, I have not had this for 1 year. At the time of this recording, I've had it for about a week and a half. But it's been great. It's been pretty good. I haven't been pushing it to its limits just yet. So I really haven't come across any real issues. It does not have an Android 12 beta. I don't even think Google supports Android 12 beta with the Pixel 5, but then again, it's going to come out soon anyway. I have played Call of Duty Mobile, and surprisingly, I thought like I would notice the difference between a 120 hertz display coming from my Galaxy S21, playing on that, to playing a 60 hertz display on the Pixel 5a for Call of Duty, and I really haven't noticed anything. I haven't noticed any difference whatsoever. So it's been great in my case. Snapdragon 765 and 6 gigs of RAM does perform pretty well with the Pixel 5a. Also, 60 hertz display at 449. It's kind of like, come on, your competition is supporting 90 hertz, 120 hertz. I kind of wish this, at least the Pixel 5a, I'm fine with the 4a not supporting it, but the Pixel 5a I kind of wish had at least a 90 hertz display. Whatever, 60 hertz it's not gonna be the end of the world, but it's at this point, like I said, it's nitpicking, but it's okay. Otherwise, it performs super well. Software is great. Snapdragon 765 performs very well. No hiccups in my use. So performance-wise, guys, Pixel 4a or 5a, more so they're going to be performing at the same. When you start pushing it to its limits, Snapdragon 765 will get there just a little bit further, because the Snapdragon 730 is a little bit older processor and it's not as powerful as the Snapdragon 765. I feel like I'm speaking like these are like the highest in flagships. Okay, so let's talk about cameras now. Here is where we start to see the differences with the Pixel 5a and Pixel 4a camera. So when we look at, let's first start off with the Pixel 4a. When we look at the Pixel 4a, we're getting a single camera, okay? Not a dual camera, single camera, I think everyone knows by now. It is a 12 megapixel camera, and it's the same main camera lens as the one found on like the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 3a and the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 2, same camera hardware. And it's been showing its age throughout the years, but Google has definitely really nailed it with computational photography. And that's why Google devices, Pixel devices, they perform really well, especially with photo. It's a different story for video. Now, when we look at the Pixel 5a, it is getting a dual camera setup as the one found on the Pixel 5. It's getting a main 12 megapixel, like the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5 and the Pixel 4 and 3a and 3 and 2. And it's also getting an ultra wide at 16 megapixels. I'm glad that Google went this route of having the second lens as ultra wide rather than something like the Pixel 4, which has a telephoto as its second lens, although I still really do like the Pixel 4 design. And it has I believe a 118 degree field of view. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments down below, but I know it has a larger wide or angle of view with the ultra wide for the Pixel 5a. Now, camera quality, I'm going to be putting up some photos on screen right now. They both perform really well. So if you just want to pull out your camera and take out, your camera and just point and shoot, it's going to perform super well. And let's do the same with the Pixel 5a. Just double press that home button, take that photo, and it's going to perform super well. We're going to get really good photos and stills with both the Pixel 4 and Pixel 5a. You're not going to have any issue, and they're going to be more so the same. Now, obviously, you won't be getting an ultra wide camera setup on the Pixel 4a. I guess that's okay for its price for $349. That's great. But the setup on the Pixel 5a is also a good setup, better than having a telephoto. Now, because of that, there's really not much to talk about camera. We all know Pixel devices, both all perform really well. It's night sight mode. I'm still going to be putting up photos, and you can determine which one you think is better. They're going to be performing more so the same, using the same hardware and software. Computational photography, Google has definitely nailed it. Now, when it comes to video quality, here's something that I want to talk about. I myself, I don't take too many photos and too many videos, but with Pixel devices, they kind of opened the path for me to say, hey, I actually like taking photos and videos with my Pixel devices, and I like taking them with my smartphones in general now, because they've kind of shown me that, wow, smartphones are actually super good. They're getting really good at photography and videography. Now, when we come to video quality, I don't really find any need of taking too many videos on my phones anyway. If it is, I take more photos than I do videos. If I need to take anything like to capture any moment, it's more so photos than videos. But one thing I noticed, and this has been popping up, is the Pixel 5a has been having overheating issues with recording in 4K, 60 frames per second. I have not used it for more than 10-15 minutes before, but I do want to point out something. So we can change the mode on the Pixel 5a to 60 frames per second to 4K. So we got that all set up right here. But if we go to like the Pixel 4a and we go to video now, the beta for Android 12, so the layout might be a little bit different. We go to 4K, it's at 30 frames. It's really not letting me choose 60 frames. So from what I can tell, is Pixel 4a doesn't have 4K at 60 frames per second. That doesn't really matter for me. But for those, I've been seeing a lot of overheating issues with 4K 60 frames per second on Pixel 5a. I have not come across it because I'm just straight open. I have not recorded any videos for more than 10 minutes. But I guess I will be doing that just to test that out for further review. So I'm going to be putting up a video sample of both the Pixel 4a and 5a, and I'm going to have you guys determine which one do you guys think is going to be better, or which one do they perform the same. Let me know in the comments down below. But what I can tell you guys is it's this. Pixel 4a and 5a, they're going to be getting the same quality, same amazing quality. I can tell you guys that. If you guys are looking for an ultra wide, a larger field of view, Pixel 5a is going to be the camera. You're going to get the ultra wide camera lens at 16 megapixels. If one camera lens is enough for you, Pixel 4a is also good. You won't be missing out on too much other than the ultra wide lens. And that's in my use of both the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. It's up to you, your choice. But if you gave me either one, obviously I'd go with the more lens at this point. So your call. If you want ultra wide and an extra camera lens, Pixel 5a. Otherwise, quality is going to be more so the same. Now let's get to battery. Battery is a topic that we should be talking about with Pixel devices and the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. So with the Pixel 5a, we are getting a beefy, large 4,680 milliamp hour battery. And the reason why I'm saying beefy is you're going to think, okay, well, we have phones with 5,000, 6,000 milliamp hour batteries. So this is not really that large, but it's the largest in a Pixel. So that makes it pretty beefy for the Pixel device. Obviously, when the Pixel 6 Pro comes out, that's going to have a much larger battery. It's looking at 5,000 right now. It's going to have a larger battery. But right now, Pixel 5a has the largest battery to date in a Pixel device. And the Pixel 4a has a 3,140 milliamp hour battery, which in my case of using this for an entire year, it's been great. Battery life on this device has been awesome. The reason why is this has a Snapdragon 730G chipset, and it doesn't require much power. And we have 6 gigs of RAM, so it doesn't require much power to use to get work done. Obviously, it's going to show its age and performance. That's a different story. But with battery, it's gotten me throughout the day. So for Pixel 4a users, you're really good with battery life. Now, here comes the Pixel 5a. Obviously, you're getting a larger screen and a slightly more powerful processor, Snapdragon 765, found on both the 4a 5G and the Pixel 5, which I guess Google has discontinued both of them. They're only going to be sold until they're out of stock. But 4,600 milliamp hour, 80 milliamp hour batteries. That is huge. The Pixel 5 had, I believe, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and the Pixel 5a was like 3,800 something. And those also had really great battery life. So for a larger, beefier battery with a not so power hungry processor, you are going to be getting stellar battery life. And in my case of using this device so far, man, I've been getting at least like 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time. Right now, obviously, I fully charged it for this video. It's at 93% right now, at least. And you can probably tell from the beginning of the video to right now, I had to take a break throughout the day. I'm recording the next day. But guys, in my use of the Pixel 5a, like, I don't need to worry about this at all. Like, I don't need to think about, when am I going to charge this at night? I don't need to charge it at night. Wake up in the morning, I'm going to put him in charge in the morning, and that's really it for me. Because it's super reliable. Like, the battery is one less thing I need to worry about. And that goes for the Pixel 4a too. But if you want something that's going to last you even longer, now I'm a heavy user. I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm watching my YouTube videos. I'm sending texts and browsing the internet and sending emails and doing everything on my phone. So for those of you who are like, hey, I'm just going to be using my device for just calling, taking pictures once in a while, and maybe watching a couple of YouTube videos here and there, guys, Pixel 4a's battery is going to be great. It's going to last you throughout the entire day. If you're doing that as a light user on the Pixel 5a, well then guys, you don't even need to worry about the battery. It's going to last you a couple days without you having to worry about charging it. But if you're a heavy user like me, obviously Pixel 5a is going to last longer. Pixel 4, you're going to get to the end of the day and then you're going to have to charge it. And that's happened in my use. I'm getting about 5. If I really push it, 6 hours of screen on time with the Pixel 4a. But with the Pixel 5a, I don't need to worry about charging. Like, I don't need to worry about, man, I have to get to a charger at night. So Pixel 5a's battery has been great. Now, both of them support 18 watt fast charging. Its name is fast charging. It's not really that fast compared to something like the OnePlus 8T, which has 65 watt warp charging, 0 to 100 in like 39 minutes, which is crazy. And once you come from a device like this, it's hard to get used to a device that's much slower, but I love OnePlus's fast charging. Anyway, so it takes about an hour and 30 minutes at least for the Pixel 5a and about an hour for the Pixel 4a to fully charge. Neither of them have wireless charging. I hope you guys know that by now, at least with the Pixel 4a does not have wireless charging. The Pixel 4a 5G does not have wireless charging. And even though this has a metal unibody design covered in polycarbonate, this does not have wireless charging, but the Pixel 5 does. So do keep that in mind. No wireless charging, 18 watt fast charging, and they're both USB-C. So you're really stuck to just wired charging. But battery is definitely not going to be an issue. Why? Because the processors, they're not performance heavy. They don't require a lot of power. So you're going to see that increase in battery life. All right, so battery, guys, both devices, let me tell you, they're going to get the job done. Okay, so when we look at price, it's very simple. There's a $100 difference in both. $449 for the Pixel 5a and $349 for the Pixel 4a. One configuration for both. 2 colors with the Pixel 4. You're getting like a nice light blue, I believe it was, like a teal. And this mostly black, or I think it was called just black. This is called mostly black, but it's actually mostly green in my opinion, and just a little bit of black. But we're getting one configuration for both, 6 gigs of RAM, 120 gigs of storage. Obviously Snapdragon 765 compared to 730G. But I believe Pixel 5a is the successor to the 4a 5G more so. But it's cheaper with a slightly larger display, a larger battery, and an IP67 rating. And also it has a metal unibody design. Obviously, it's covered in polycarbonate and plastic, but it has a metal unibody, whereas the Pixel 4a 5G was not like that. It was just a larger, bigger version of the Pixel 4a. But I think this is actually let's put it this way, it's the 4a 5G version for 2021, and you're getting a slightly larger display, and that's because of the larger aspect ratio. I think it's 20:9, a much larger battery, and an IP67 rating, so it's dust and water resistant. And the Pixel 4a or the 4a 5G, they don't have that, so that's a huge plus. Now, if you're going to think about, okay, which one, obviously there's $100 difference, and for a lot of consumers, $100 is a huge difference in price. So that comes to the verdict, and which one should I choose? Well, let's put it this way. Obviously, if you're putting in an extra $100 for $449, you know you're going to be paying more. You're going to be getting a little bit more. So for those of you who want a larger battery, a larger display than the Pixel 4a, and a extra camera lens, then obviously you're going to be going with Pixel 5a 5G. And also don't forget the IP67 rating as well. You're going to be going with Pixel 5a 5G. But if you say, hey, I want a compact design, a compact phone, one camera lens is enough for me, and the price tag of $349 fits me well, Pixel 4a is going to be your choice. Both of them perform super well, so whichever one you go with, you're really not going to have any issue. Now, there is one thing to keep in mind, is that these processors are not that powerful, and they're not that new. All right, so in 2 to 3 years' time, we don't know the performance of how they're going to be performing with Android updates in the next 2-3 years. So do keep that in mind. But whichever device you go with, you're really not going to be going wrong. You're going to be getting the same experience, just one is going to be smaller than the other. That's really it. For my personal choice, I mean, I love the Pixel 4a, but the Pixel 5a 5G in my use right now, I've been absolutely loving it. I think it fits perfectly in my hand. I love the larger, beefier battery. So my personal choice would be Pixel 5a 5G, just because I really do like that larger display and having a larger battery. I'm not too thinking about the cameras, and I wouldn't mind paying an extra $100 for this. But it's just a larger battery and a larger display compared to the Pixel 4a, because I'm always watching YouTube videos and playing Call of Duty on my phone. So this would be my personal choice. But guys, I remember in my video saying this Pixel 4a is probably, it was one of my favorite devices of 2020, and my favorite budget, or I guess you could say mid-range device, and overall my favorite compact device that I've ever used in a super long time. This is a great device. You won't go wrong with this one as well. Anyway, that's been it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video of the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. If you did, be sure to Superman that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video, as it does help out the channel and will help push my content out to more people, because guys, we're still going to be having more Pixel content coming to the channel. Guys, it's tech season. The grind is not going to stop. We're going to have more videos on the way. Anyway, guys, that's been it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to Superman that like button, comment down below, because with the more interactions we get on this video, not only helps the video and the channel, but also pushes the video out to more viewers. And best of all, Superman that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, and until next video, this is MTG.